Pablo Picasso painted Le Picador, a painting now valued at millions of dollars at the age of 8, while Mozart started composing music at the age of 5. I'm sure you've all heard of these people because they've went on to achieve such extraordinary and splendid things, and starting from such a young age. Personally, I've always wondered what made them so special, and what do they have that I don't that allows them to go on to achieve such spectacular things. We've convinced ourselves that they're a whole different breed of humans altogether, with more efficient genes and just higher IQ levels and smarter brains. We call them geniuses and prodigies and extraordinary people. But personally, I believe that's completely false. Instead, I believe that every single one of you in this audience right now, sitting here today, could achieve the things they achieve that you only dream of in your dreams. Because they're not special or extraordinary. In fact, we all are. And we should stop labeling high achievers or as something else and imagining them to be incomparable beings. Instead, I want to give you a gift. I want to change your perspective today about the way you view prodigies or geniuses. And instead of viewing them as incomparable beings, I want you to start viewing them as normal human beings just like you and me. Because talent is not an inborn thing. It is rather just a reflection of hard work and effort put together. Prodigies have always fascinated me. Not only because I didn't quite understand the why of it, but also because, just like anyone in this room, I wanted to be special. And I wanted to go on to achieve extraordinary things, brilliant things. I couldn't quite understand why some people, ages 4 or 5, they're just children, could achieve things only professors know. So I took the incentive to do some research about this topic. And after hours of browsing the internet and reading books, I came to the realization that prodigies, or people who are really young and are able to master specific skills, it's not a reflection of intelligence, and it's not genetic either. Prodigies actually don't even have IQ levels that are that high. Most of their IQ levels are actually average, and that honestly made me question everything. I mean, if they could achieve what we can't with average IQ levels, just like we have, then why can't we? That's my question today. So, first things first, prodigies are not geniuses, while geniuses are able to come up with new concepts and ideas and discover new materials for the world. Prodigies are just really, really good at learning stuff that already exists. So if you think of it this way, they're just really good at learning stuff. They're not necessarily smart. So if you learn stuff and put in as much as time learning stuff as they do, I'm sure you're going to come up with the same results. And this is true, because Malcolm Gladwell's rule of 10,000 suggests that if you want to perfect any skill or hobby, you have to put at least 10,000 hours of practice. That's crazy. 10,000 hours of practice. Imagine what those kids put in to achieve the things they do. They're not special, they're not extraordinary, and they're not talented. They just put in more hard work and effort than we could ever dream of putting. And I'm sure that in a world where everyone has the same IQ level, some people would still be higher achievers than the rest of the world. And you may ask me, why is that? It's not because of their IQ level, surely. It's rather because of the grit The word grit, hard work, grit, is what you need to achieve anything in the world. Anything. Finally, after all this questioning I had done, I had come to a conclusion. Talent is not only overrated, but it doesn't exist. Anyone can be talented just by putting hard work and effort. I'm going to give you an example here. And this example is actually really special to me because he's been an inspiration to me 2 years back. Ever since I found out about this dude, I was fascinated. Anyways, his name is Lyne Alqudah, and he's an international famous Chinese pianist, and he's played in world-class operas and stadiums. But how was he able to go on to that high level? I have the answer for you. Ever since he was 2 years old, his dad bought him the most expensive guitar, the most expensive piano, and the most expensive lessons. And he taught him for hours and hours every single day, ever since he was 2 years old. And the result was just mind-blowing. But then again, if my example and my inspiration, Lang Lang, if he didn't actually want to become a pianist, I bet he would have never. So, it's not only hard work and effort, it's also the passion. If you don't put in the passion, then there's no point in any effort at all, because you don't want to do the thing in the first place. So why are you doing the thing in the first place if you don't want to do the thing in the first place? The main point here is passion plus hard work plus effort is equals to talent. And that's what I call a prodigy. A prodigy is simply a person who has been fed and fed information starting from such a young age. Because on the contrary to common beliefs, the IQ level of the human brain is not constant. It changes. It's so flexible that if you were born really, really smart, you could just end up average by the time you reach 20. If you don't, because the brain is like a seed. If you don't feed it and nurture it, it would never become a tree. But if you feed it and feed it information, you would have mind-blowing results. Talent is virtual. To me, it doesn't exist. You can go on to achieve the most extraordinary things only if you put in the hard work and the effort and the passion. And what makes a prodigy is truly only the skill to master. And that is what they do have that we don't, that allows them to achieve the extraordinary things that have always fascinated me and what allows them to outshine us all. Thank you.